What up, everybody? You already know what it is. It is the Red Clay Report. It's your guy K.Wil, got GP in here with me. Honestly, by the grace of God, we're actually in front of the camera talking to you guys because y'all already saw what happened this past weekend. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't what we expected, you know what I'm saying? But it don't matter. We're going to show up. We're going to show out. We're going to do the show. This is the Red Clay Report. Saturday Sanctuary is where we stand. Of course, where football is a religion, but we don't play by God. So let's hop into it. GP, I wish the Lord was with us, and I ain't gonna lie, I think the Lord favored us, and we fumbled the game, dog. So of course everybody saw Alabama beat Georgia in Sanford Stadium for the first time, being back in Athens for the first time in 10 years. Actually, they handed it to us. Score said 24-21. It was a lot worse than that when you consider how many times we could have scored, how many times we could have stopped them in the first half, how many times we did stop them as a defense in the second half and could not get the points on the board that we needed at the time that we needed it. Of course, first and foremost, we got to talk about the probably the thing that the fans are most upset about and probably has people crashing out the most. We are currently under Kirby Smart, 1-7 against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
Anybody that I only got one win against, 7 losses, dog, I'm trying to play you every day. I almost talk about it with like, with this, I almost think about like how, hopefully nobody gets offended, but how Draymond Green just snuck Jordan Poole, bro. You're going to have to fight me every single day until I get enough wins to be happy. Like, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, as a fan, I'm tired. Of course, I can't speak for you, GP, but I feel like we're on the same page here. We don't condone any of this fire and stuff. Like, people are out their mind talking about cool. It's time to question Kirby Smart. Do y'all not remember the Mark Richt days?
No.
Are y'all out of y'all mind?
Nah.
Y'all out of y'all mind. But we ain't gonna get too far into that right now. Let's get right into the game itself. Real quick, of course, we'll talk about the things to come this week with Kentucky. We'll talk about some other games and some other happenings in the SEC. We obviously see the Pitt boss, Sam Pittman, lost his job. But first, we got to touch on the Dogs real quick. Alabama, they had a pretty good game in the first half. Ty Simpson, 24-38, 280 yards. I heard some people say, hey, he might walk in there and drop 300 on y'all head. He ain't have to. He didn't have to at all. But at the same time, we did a great job in the second half, but the first half was bad enough for us to focus on it. We had, obviously, that UGA secondary was deplorable. There's no reason for it. Of course, we're young. We have room to grow. A lot of these players will be back next year. But goddamn it, I'm tired of hearing that. Can you be good today? And they was not good on this past Saturday. GP, touch on just, are we overreacting as a fan base? Not even talking about the people talking about Kirby Smart and questioning his job. We're not addressing that. That's y'all out y'all goddamn mind. But as far as us being 1-7 under Kirby, 0-2 to the board, a lot of times we have felt like Kirby and company, not just Bobo, not just Glenn, but both, all three of them at times have been out-coached against the board. How are you feeling as a fan? Are we overreacting, or are we giving it the right amount of reaction to the fact that we're 1-7, 0-2 under the board? And now our biggest complaint was we never got to play the Crimson Tide on our home field. We did, and they still beat us.
Yeah. I think there's a few things. I think being 1-7 is causing everybody to freak out. Rightfully so. Like I said, under Kirby Smart. The very first time we played them was in a national championship game. I would say, I'm personally frustrated, and I guess I'll take you through like my personal lore of it. So I'm gonna just go back just strictly through this Kirby Smart tenure, not even going back further, like with Mark Richt and before that. But played him in a national championship game. Your second year that you were at school. I would argue during that time frame, Alabama had more talent than us. You played him again in the 2018 SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
You were leading by 2 scores. I forgot to mention in the national championship game, you were winning 20-7, I think. So you should have tried to close it out. You were leading in the national SEC championship game 28-14, lost that game, I think 35-28.
Yep.
trying to think what happened. Then you played them again in 2020. You were leading 20, was it 28, 24? No, 28, 21, something like that, or 24, 21.
What year we
At
talking
halftime,
about?
2020, the COVID year, when we went to Tuscaloosa.
Were we leading?
Yes, you were leading at halftime. I vividly remember this because I believe Mechie scored right at halftime, and then they scored right after.
Yeah, Tyson Campbell
It
failed.
was, yeah, I think it was Jalen Waddle actually that scored. Very frustrating, by the way. Uh, so then you lost that game. Then you lose the 2021 season. We have like arguably one of the best defenses of all time in college football history. Um, the championship game.
So it was 24 to 20. We scored. It was tied 17-17. We scored, went into the half, punted the ball. They punted the ball. It seemed like we had a chance. I mean, they
Yeah, that
we
2020 year.
just, I remember that now more vividly. We had a
Yeah,
chance. We punted, they punted, we punted again.
yeah,
That's when Tyson Campbell fell. And then the
yep.
next drive, we threw a pick.
Yeah, it went to shit. 2021 SEC championship game. That's the game that I feel like everybody really felt like, oh, Georgia's gonna beat the brakes off of Alabama finally, and we lost. Got our asses whooped that game actually. And then we finally went in the national championship game, and unfortunately, people I feel like didn't exactly give us the credit because Mechie had torn his ACL in the SEC championship game, and then J-Mo tore his ACL in the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we won by double digits or whatnot, but people feel like, oh, we didn't beat Alabama at full health. You then come to the 2023 SEC championship game. Again, argue, and I'm gonna wrap this up at the end. We lost that game by 3, which kept us from three-peating, only to then have you start getting smoked last year at Tuscaloosa. You're down 30-7, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Came all the way back, took the lead, then lost on. They scored in the last like 2 minutes. We drive down the field, and we throw a pick, which would have tied the game or probably sent us to overtime. And then today, this past Saturday, you lose by 3. I think at this point, it's a mental block, bro. Like it reminds me honestly of how Ryan Day. People talk about Ryan Day with Michigan currently. I would say not because like when Ryan Day first started coaching in 2019 against Ohio State, he was beating the brakes off him.
Yeah.
Beat him in 2019. They didn't play in 2020, and then he's lost the last 4 years. Yeah, he's lost the last 4 years, which is crazy. Actually, think about it. So there's just kind of like a mental block, I think. I think what frustrates me though is that it really just seems like there's overthinking. I would argue that personally, even though like Alabama won a national championship in that 2020 year, and they talk about that being one of the more talented Alabama teams of all time, due to the fact that we had a lead in that game, I genuinely have felt like just due to recruiting and all that, we have had a more talented team than Alabama since 2020.
Yeah.
The L's in 2021, 2023, and last year were just kind of unacceptable in my opinion. Even this year, I was a little. I actually said Alabama was going to win this game, but that's because I was a little bit not necessarily nervous, but like we have a young team. We just have a young team, and I liked recently, even though Alabama lost to Florida State, I just liked how they had been playing when I watched them. They looked a lot more crisp than we did. I didn't really feel confident in our crispness, if that's a word.
Our crispiness.
Yeah, until I saw what the offense did against Tennessee. I thought that was perfectly fine, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Like offense can clearly do its thing."
Yeah.
Defense still leads a lot to be desired, and I'm a segue into this. Secondary, very young, but the real issue is more so that like Ty Simpson, I think either finished the game perfect on third down, which is so you got to take. I'll give credit like they didn't really run the ball. Like Bama didn't really run the ball that well, which I was shocked at a little bit. But they did seem to get into like manageable third downs. And Ty Simpson was just a wizard on third down. Like there was at one point I genuinely believe he was like 9 of 9 or like 10 of 10. And it was bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. I think it was I think he might have set a record or something of like most consecutive like third downs against like a Georgia defense. Something weird like that. But you could tell that he had been in that offense for 4 years. Well, not that offense, excuse me. He's clearly been in an offense for 2 years, but you could tell that he's just been a college backup quarterback for 4 years because it's like he knew what was coming and he was just ripping it. And I got to give him credit for that. Yeah, honestly, like I think the two things of why Georgia lost in that regard were the back seven were getting cooked, and the front four. Well, excuse me, the secondary was getting cooked, and then until the second half, and then the front four could not get home.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they just couldn't get home.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, people do point to a lot the fact that we are young. We saw, I really didn't see Daniel Harrison at all. Did you see him in?
I don't think he played.
Yeah. So,
Not to be funny, like from what I saw, Dalen stayed in the entire game.
yeah,
They
it seemed like
rotated.
he didn't get
Yeah,
in at all. Cause I mean, we seen Aguero didn't come off the field. It seemed like he
nope.
was always playing
He
nickel.
always
It
played.
only seemed like it was Ellis and
Ellis and
DeMello.
DeMello, they rotated, and DeMello had a really good game. Shockingly. And I say shockingly, not because DeMello doesn't have the talent. I've just seen what seems like a lack of physicality from him in these previous games when he's got in as a backup. But I think this week, he clearly had a great week of practice to have seen the field against Alabama in a game of this caliber against these receivers that they have as well. And he held his own. He really did hold his own. He was very effective. I'm not going to say here in front.
Yeah.
Very, very effective.
I don't even know if it was a good week of practice. I mean, they had no other choice but to put somebody else in there. Ellis looked trash. He looked trash. So
Yeah, he
they
did look
both
bad.
look trash. I think it's no way that you don't make any type of change there when you've made changes for no reason and put cornerbacks in. They swap DBs all the time. So just knowing that y'all do it all the time for no reason, they had no choice but to try to mellow out. So I don't know what he did in practice, but I am glad because I honestly, we know that this is a program that Kirby Smarts runs in the way that you earn playing time by what you do in practice. As from a fan perspective, I love that when it works, when it shows up in the game, when the process meets results.
Right.
When it doesn't, I don't care what you do in practice. As long as on the game day you show up. People have said before, gone on the record, we'll go on the record. And disclaimer to everything I say about these young kids, they are great young men. They have a lot on their shoulders. Hopefully they are always good student athletes. We don't know everything that goes on, but they have done great things to get to this level. So I do criticize, or we criticize, and we're hard, or not even hard. We're here to analyze the game. We're here to provide also honest feedback, raw feedback. We've been fans of Georgia football since we've been kids. So while there is some actual analyzation of the game, some analysis, sorry, of the game, and we're always going to speak facts. But sometimes the opinion is going to come through because we emotionally really care about the Georgia Bulldogs. And with that, I have to say, Dalen ever fucking sucks. And I don't want to hear it. I've never been a fan.
I'm not gonna get into that.
He doesn't suck,
Get into this.
but he's not good enough. He is the
He's,
worst
he's
DB1 we have ever had
just
under the Kirby Smart era.
he's inconsistent for you.
And to me,
But,
inconsistency.
yeah. Now I will say this. I think that even though T-Rob came over from Alabama, Dante, what's Dante's last name? The
It don't
cornerback.
matter. I don't think he's gonna have a job at the end of this year.
I'm unsure as well. And I say that he's a good recruiter, but I have seen our secondary play trend downward since Fran Brown left.
Hey
Now,
man,
granted, and we won a national championship when Fran Brown was our secondary coach with the help of one Will Muschamp helping out,
100%.
coaching the safeties. I just think that like there's a level of preparation that went into it. There was a level of rigor in terms of like who they were recruiting. Clearly, the recruiting was working with Fran because he recruited Ellis and he recruited DeMelo because I
He
think
came
DeMelo.
in fresh onto the job and got those guys.
Yeah, hold on. Is DeMelo a freshman or is he a redshirt freshman?
They're the same. They're the same class. Red shirt freshman.
Oh well, yeah. Then Fran recruited both of them. Excuse me.
He got both.
Yeah, yeah. He got both of them. And I've seen DeMelo play in high school. I saw him play in the state championship. He's a phenomenal athlete. And I've seen Ellis. I've seen Ellis's tape. I think at this point, it's also like what you did in high school really doesn't matter anymore. What you do at this level will project you to the next level. I think Ellis has all the talent in the world, but panics sometimes a little bit. And at this point, it's like you can't always blame it on the coach. Sometimes you can, but at some point, you got to perform as well too. And I'll say when I even say that, and this goes beyond the secondary, you go to the front four, the D line, ain't really got no dogs on it. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. You ain't got no like I ain't got no. It feels like I don't have any horses for real outside of Christian Miller and I'll say Elijah Griffin, but like Elijah Griffin's a freshman. Like his impact is gonna be but so decent. Like they really don't have an elite edge rusher that I'm used to, like a guy that really just sets the edge to stop the run game, and then we don't seem to have a dynamic pass rusher. Now, granted, in this defense, we don't really let guys rush the passer for so much,
Right.
but I will say it seems as though the philosophy of the defense has genuinely changed with Schumann, who's most notably an inside linebacker guy, as opposed to um, when we had like Dan Lanning call as the defensive coordinator, respectfully, as a co-defensive coordinator, he was in charge of our outside linebackers and their pass rush. I just felt like we had better athletes. We had guys that set the edge better, that had better pass rush plans, in my opinion. And I felt like when Shu was primarily dealing, it seems like under Shu, he has a lot going on, and he just likes to solely feature the inside linebackers. Like that's who gets featured in this defense. For being transparent, it's the inside linebackers. But I tend to see my inside linebackers at times like they're. I would say that's the best unit on the defense so far. C.J. Allen's playing really well. Raylan Wilson has played pretty well this year. Chris Cole has played amazing. So much so that I think Chris Cole might end up having to switch positions and be a an outside linebacker just genuinely due to his natural athleticism and speed. He's probably been our best pass rusher, and he's not a pass rusher. He's just an athlete that's really good. And then Justin Williams, when he comes in and rotates in, he's really good. I think, if Raylan and CJ decide to declare for the draft, Justin and Chris Cole are gonna be a problem next year. That's probably gonna be the two most athletic linebackers we've had at Georgia in a minute, honestly. But it's frustrating because the front four just seems to get no pressure. You thought there was no pressure against Tennessee, and you're like, it felt like we were close to getting home a little bit sometimes, but you were just a split second late for the most part. We really didn't lay a hand on Joey Aguilar, and that's why Chris Brazzell had like 3 touchdowns for probably like 200 yards. But this week, Ty Simpson had all day long. Like he could bake a cake back there. It was actually disgusting. Alabama has a good offensive line, but he was back there doing God knows what. And that's why he was, at one point he was like 10 for 10 on third down. That's unacceptable to me.
Yeah, I think we have to be honest about why we're in this position with the edge rushers. I mean, so many people left. Damon Wilson left. Obviously, Michael went to the league.
Mm-hmm.
And Pimba, we don't know what he really, really would have been, but I think he would have been. He
He
definitely
would
would
have.
have had
He would.
some
He would
great.
have. I think he would have stayed. I think if he had known that Damon was going to go to Missouri, I think he would have stayed. I don't even know where he ended up actually.
He went to like
Hold on. Now I want to
Texas
Google.
Yeah, I got it up. Actually, I think I was
Was
just
it A&M?
yeah. He's at A&M right now. But yeah, so I mean, we lost Sam and Pimba. He went to A&M. Damon Wilson left, went to Mississippi. I mean, not Mississippi State. Where am I right?
Missouri.
Missouri, yeah. And then of course we have uh Michael. Michael went to the league. And then you know, TID left also
Yeah, he's in the league still.
when he was gonna stay. So you talking about one person you knew you was gonna leave, and I feel like they didn't think they would lose TID to the draft,
Mm-hmm.
Damon Wilson to transferring, and then Pimba to transferring after Michael also. You know he's gone. I think they thought, okay, TID stays, we lose one.
Mm-hmm.
TID leaves, we stay with both. They didn't think they was losing all three of those guys. So you go from that, and then like you touched on Chris Cole. Chris Cole got to play linebacker, so he can't.
Like
He's
Chris,
so valuable in coverage. You can't just
you can't
necessarily have him going rushing the passer all the
pass
time.
her every time. Exactly.
Gabe Davis, I think Gabe is nice. Obviously, Gabe has gained a lot of weight, and I think they did that, and it's showing in the run game. So I wouldn't say we don't have dogs on the D line. I think we have dogs on the D line. I think we just are in a position with a lack of depth and experience to where we don't have the guys to go after the passer like we want to. But I think we'll get there. I have faith that we'll figure it out. I think I'll
We got
take
no
what we
choice.
have right now, regardless, because I think it's more important to stop the run than anything, and we can stop the run right now. I have full faith that that D line can stop the run. They did a great job against Alabama. Granted, Alabama ain't really been able to run against too many people. Tennessee has been doing good running the ball. They couldn't run the ball against us for real. As you saw, it's gonna happen with every SEC game unless you really just get that defense off the field fast. And like you saw in the Alabama game, they wasn't running the ball for real well at all. But kudos to them and that coaching staff and offensive coordinator. He kept still calling run plays because it still will wear down on the defense. They stayed on the
Yep.
field so long. Our defensive line was gassed at times. And then they started getting from runs that were looking at 1 yard, no gain, 2, 3 yards at max that first half, even when they were rolling late third quarter, fourth quarter, they're starting to get some runs that are 5 yards. They're starting to get some runs that's about 6 yards every now and again. So you saw that come to fruition by you being able to run the clock. I mean, they had the ball twice as much as we did the entire game. So I do feel the concern with them not being able to get to the passer. We want to see that. We want to see sacks. I mean, that's the cute part about defense. Like, it's just like scoring all the points is the cutest part about the offense. But can you run the ball? Can you manage the clock when we need to? Can we run the clock out when we need to? Can we protect the ball when we need to? Can you just beat your man 1-on-1 on a slant or a comeback or whatever just to get the easy yards? So I feel like we want to see it. I think it'll happen. But I'm okay right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm okay because it was infuriating, and you cannot win not stopping the run. You can win not sacking the passer. We've seen it. We've won. We have.
You can affect the quarterback without getting sacks.
You
I
can
agree.
affect the quarterback without getting sacks, and I will argue that's what we've been doing since the championships. We had the Clemson game. We started off hot. We really didn't get no sacks for real until, or I'll say the sacks we got were super duper impactful. But really, we were impacting the game, being in DJ's face a lot of times in that Clemson game in our first championship year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you got situations where the reason we were getting those sacks is really those guys in the interior line who are all
Yeah.
worldly players. It wasn't because we had the elite edge rushers. I feel like with this day and age, the ball gets out so quick. You don't necessarily have to get the sack, just impact the passer. But one thing you have to do is be able to defend the run. And we could not do that at all at a consistent basis last year. So I feel like that's why I'm okay. I feel like at some point when we start talking about fourth, fifth, or I'll say once we really get to I'll say Florida game, maybe after the Florida game, I need to start seeing us really, really attacking, really being able to get some sacks or at least get some hurries, like visible hurries. But other than that, I'm cool with it just because, hey, just a week ago, but really just a year ago, we couldn't even stop the run for nothing.
Right.
So I'm cool with that. We can see how stopping the run keeps us in games because you're going to run up against an offensive lineman that can really pass block really well on the edge, have some great tackles. sometimes it doesn't matter how good or bad the offensive line is. You run up against a team that just gets the ball out quick. So it don't matter if you have the fast edge rushers. They're going to take advantage of you and fool you. So
Agreed.
what you have to do at all times, though, is stop the run. I feel like right now we can do that. So I'm confident in the D line. But I am going to backtrack to that secondary. Not confident at all in them. You have to be better. You have to be so much better. Dalen Everett is entirely too soft. We just looked the weakest I've ever seen. We looked the most unknowledgeable. Like it just looked like they didn't even know what was going on. That's that not just the secondary. That was down to the linebackers. It just looked like confusion
Yeah,
and chaos.
it was bad in coverage
It
all
just
around.
looked
But
bad. It looked bad from, and I'm just talking pre-snap. We just looked confused. And then you saw that pass to the touchdown pass to Isaiah Horton. I think it was the second pass, the second touchdown. Camera pans to the offensive play calling box for Alabama. The offensive coordinator and them are looking around like, whoa, how did that work? Because it was just like, what are y'all even doing out there? We talking about Ty Simpson. He has an arm. He has the accuracy. Shout outs to him. I think he did a great job in the game, but threw a dot, quote unquote, but it was 5 people around the ball. And nobody was
yeah,
really making a play on the ball. Everybody just moving through. Like nobody's really moving with purpose. Nobody's looking at anything other than just sideline to sideline. Like, what are we really doing? So I think we just have to all around be so much better than we have been. So much
yeah,
better than we have been. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. But defensive wise, I'm confident in that D line. Secondary, they just got to be better. KJ Bolden, better. Kyron, I like what I saw from Kyron. It was nice out there. It was cool. I think the other safety hasn't even really been the problem on a consistent basis. And maybe it's because the standard is high for KJ, but
I
he
think
hasn't been the problem.
you have high expectations for KJ. You
I
don't
mean,
have
you're the
them
leader. I mean, you
for
literally have to be the leader. So nobody cares that it's your second year.
I personally think I would think the opposite. I feel like KJ's been fine. I think that the issue genuine Kyron's been okay for the most part. He was bad, I think, in the Bama game though, honestly.
I don't feel
Uh
like he was bad. I mean, he didn't make what plays were. I don't
that's
feel
the
like
point.
too
That's the point.
many. Huh?
That's kind of the point. He didn't really do nothing.
No, I'm
For
saying
real.
I don't feel like any plays. I don't feel like any what the heck plays were made around him necessarily. Um, I didn't. I didn't like him going low and whiffing on Caden Proctor. But hey, I don't gotta tackle Caden Proctor, so I'm gonna watch my criticism on that. But however, Dalen Everett, you acting like you getting blocked running away from the play. Stop playing with me, dog. Like stop playing with the G, bro. Stop playing, bro. You acting like you getting blocked running away. What are we doing, bro? Be a dog or not. You're either elite or you're not, bro. And I think that's my biggest thing with this secondary. They're just not elite because either you are or you aren't. DeMelo, you had a great game, but that could just be by happenstance. I need to see it again. Like I feel like they have not at any point this season played up to standard. I feel like the coaching staff made some great defensive adjustments at the half, and we played a lot better. We played the zones a lot tighter. We're moving with more intention. It seemed like in the second half, and I almost want to give that goose egg or Alabama. They scored. They
No,
got that.
they went up 14-zip
Yeah, they went.
through that
They
secondary.
yeah, they
They
went. They put a goose egg on the scoreboard in the second half. I want to give that goose egg. I mean, granted, you still got to play 80% to the coaching staff. The defense looked totally different. So
I mean, but that's because I would say Kirby Smart is arguably the best second half adjuster.
oh,
But
in
I think what
football,
frustrates me, yeah, I just think what frustrates me is like it shouldn't take you a whole half. Well, not that it shouldn't, but it's like I get and it's crazy because apparently, and I haven't been in a locker room in like almost like forever. But apparently they don't really say too much for real in the locker room. Like obviously we see what they say on, we see like those clips that you have on like, SEC what is it?
famous speeches.
Yeah, SEC Inside or whatever and whatnot. And they'll be like, hey yo, trust your training. They mark down like what the keys are, what they're like, you're not really talking that much for real, for real. You just trying to, keep your legs warm, get your little something in your stomach, because you haven't eaten and rehydrate and whatnot. and then you going back out there stretching
Yeah.
and warming up. But clear as day, because we've seen it, and one of the games that I vividly remember, I think it was 2023 season. We were down to South Carolina, and it was like, I think it was Carson Beck's like first road start or something like that, or one of his first ones. We're down, and he's like, "All right, look, we're trying to get 4 or 5 possessions. This is what we're gonna do." And I think the first one was like, "We're gonna run, we're gonna get down, and we're gonna score on this first one." And he like, it's weird. It's like he called it out like verbatim. We ended up winning the game, whatever. And I was just like, "All right, that's cool." So like, that's cool. I think the frustration that I have right now with this team in general is you're getting behind too quickly, and we have the weapons to quick strike. We don't have the offense necessarily. We're a little bit more methodical. I think we're not the necessarily a quick strike. All right, we're gonna score on a 75-yard touchdown, or score in 3 plays. Like, we don't have that kind of offense. We run the ball very effectively. I think we spread the ball around. It does take us a minute, I think, to score sometimes. And you can't, if you're gonna do that, you cannot be behind the ball. Like, you can't be behind.
Can't be behind the sticks.
Yeah, you just can't. Like, you're down 10-0, you're down 14-0. Like, nah, bro, that's tough to come back from.
Yeah,
Like,
we can.
genuinely is. It's unnecessary. And you keep doing that, you'll get blown out for real by somebody that actually got like, real deal offense and defense.
Yeah, I think we can be that team that has the real deal offense and defense. We can wrap up on that defensive part. I mean, we want to see better. We need to see better from them. I think a lot of the outside of that terrible 4th down call, nobody liked it. Whether, I mean, you could have kicked the field goal, you could have just called a timeout. I feel like we can't live on blaming the refs, but the refs stopped play a lot. Just the drive before that, stopped the drive and allowed us to review what was clearly not a touchdown by Josh McCray. He ended up running in on the next play, but they stopped that. We was trying to hurry it up. They stopped play on that to review that, and it was clearly not something to review. I feel like Gunner potentially had that first down, so I don't understand why they didn't review that.
I think he did. The team, they should have reviewed it. I also think, Kirby Smart said it. He was like, they practiced this situation where they hurry up to the line. And I'm going to be honest, this is where it sucks that like a guy like Nate Frazier fumbled earlier in the game, because personally, in no way, shape, or form would I put Cash Jones in that situation. I don't necessarily think the play call was the worst play call, but you should not put a guy who is a walk-on. And like, I love Cash Jones. He's cool. Just not in that situation. The reason Cash Jones gets a lot of PT on this team isn't because he's just scrappy or anything like that. Like, he does have fight. It's honestly because he's probably the best pass blocking running back that we have.
I mean, he's the best pass blocking and the best pass catching. Like,
yeah, he's nice at it. But
a lot of value
on that 4th down, like, and what's annoying is more so that he tripped. If he stays on his feet, he gets the first down. But it's that you tripped on that.
Well, he didn't trip. Let's not say like he tripped over his own feet. He broke a tackle, and I mean, he couldn't catch his foot in after that.
Yeah, he couldn't completely break the tackle. And I think it was Overton. LT Overton.
Yeah, it was LT Overton.
Made the tackle, penetrated well.
I mean, it was a missed block.
Juan missed his block, which sucks.
And great game by Juan. I mean, technically, Juan did bad. Back to, was that Juan on the left side?
No,
that wasn't him. That was
honestly, Juan was great the entire game except for that one play.
Son, I need to see who that was at left guard. No, I'm tripping. Juan on the Gunner run right there. Juan missed the tackle, swinging across.
Oh yeah, he missed a block. If he had blocked,
he missed the block right there. So I mean, he back-to-back plays he did bad. It's a touchdown if he catches that block right there, but it's okay. I mean, definitely not gonna let that determine his performance for the entire game. He did great. Just we really did need you to be great right there, though. Like, we're not gonna ignore that. I feel like everybody has to learn from that. Kirby, of course, it's so layered. If Nate is healthy, we can say that there's no way Cash is in the game. We don't know that. It was third down regardless. So we don't know. We don't
You
know
talking
that.
about? You mean Josh McCray?
No. If Nate was,
Nate
I'm saying like we could
didn't
say
fumble.
it's cool to say like Cash not gonna be in the game. Like Cash in the game on third down, and everybody's
Knows where
everybody's healthy. So we can't say for sure that Cash would not be in that game. I feel like no matter what, there's a chance that Cash would have been in on that third down. And if we were going to do hurry up, and hurry up means you're not finna sub, because if you sub, that means they also get a chance to sub. Cash still would have been in right there on that fourth down. So it's hard for me to say that. Apparently, Josh McCray limped off on that drive. He ran the ball on first down on that drive, or not even that drive.
But
Two plays before.
To me, that's when you put in Chauncey Barnes, because Chauncey had been cooking.
But that's my point to why I don't think it matters who was healthy or who wasn't. Cash is he's our third down back. He was gonna be in third down regardless.
My only pushback for real is like when Cash is in, it's very apparent that it's a screen for Cash, like, or that he's somehow gonna get the ball. Like it's a tell to me. And this is where I think I get frustrated, I guess, with like maybe like personnel groupings, because and even Alabama fans were saying it that I'm cool with online. They were like, anytime, I can't remember what's Cash number, 32?
Yeah.
They were like, anytime 32 is in the game, we know he's getting the ball on a screen.
That's not necessary. Well, I don't feel like we've done.
It's not completely accurate, but it's semi-accurate. And the only reason I say that is like I feel like this year I have seen Nate run the ball very well outside of his fumbling. I've seen Chauncey Barnes probably be our best running back. I'm gonna start the Chauncey Barnes RB1 campaign at this point. Dwight Phillips has been a quality change of pace back. I think I was frustrated because if I recall correctly, I think he only got like one carry. So I don't know if he got hurt.
Who, Dwight?
Or they just didn't give him the ball.
Who, Dwight? Dwight had one carry. He only had one.
He had one carry. Yeah, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry.
I think that was from the aspect of
unacceptable.
I'm not 100% sure why they did that, but I'm pretty sure it just didn't match up for them.
He got too much speed. You got to give him the ball. I saw Dylan Bell get a carry for a reverse.
It was for 43.
Nate Frazier, and this was annoying about Nate's stuff. Nate was averaging 7 yards a carry. And then he fumbled, and they effectively benched him. Josh McCray, he was doing short yardage back stuff. Dwight got one carry for 1 yard. He could have been more effective. And you gave Cash 2 carries, and he got -7 yards on both of them. It's a tell. I'm telling you. It's a tell. And it's not like Cash not necessarily slow, but he's not fast. He's damn sure not faster than Dwight. He's not faster than Nate. And it didn't seem like he's probably not faster than Chauncey either.
I think it's a tell that I don't know. I look at it more as a benefit. I mean, we hate it all day long considering he didn't get it. If Cash gets that, he breaks the tackle, catches his footing. He actually tried to regain his footing with no feet on the ground. That was not going to happen. That was tough. So he gets it. He's the white hope. So it's like we can't.
That's the thing too. Everybody's like, even again, I think people are, myself included, are more frustrated that Cash was in. But it's like it was really you really just got to give credit to Alabama because that was just a great play.
It was a great tackle. He literally was inches away from not making the tackle, and it would have been also Cash was inches away from being able to catch his footing. I feel like we have to relax on it just because it's like my biggest thing with it is two things. Cash, one, he probably was going to be in the game regardless. It's third down. Unless potentially he might not have been, potentially, because we were showing to play Josh McCray more. So I feel like in this game, in that scenario, if Josh had not gotten hurt and pulled up hurt for a second on that drive, he probably would have been in the game. But at the end of the day, he's our third down back. I look at it when he's in on third down and people say, like, I take that more from a football standpoint. I'm sure the people on the other end, the other 11, are looking at it as he may not get the ball, but I actually have to guard him. He's either going to make my job harder by standing in there to block, or he's going to make my job harder. I'm a linebacker, and now I got to go chase this nigga around and get and follow him on the route. So I feel like I like Cash in on third down. I don't have a problem with Cash on third down because, one, Nate can't always catch the ball. Nate fumbles. I don't have a problem with it. Dwight is not finna pick up the blitz, so I don't want you in on third down. And then now we got Chauncey Cool, but Chauncey can't. I mean,
Johnson can't
that's
be.
not our method. He's not gonna stay in the.
You're not
He's not gonna
gonna
play all
overuse.
the snaps. That's just
Yeah,
not
you're not
what's
gonna.
gonna happen.
You're
But
not
now
gonna.
we have Josh McCray. I feel like we'll see him a lot more. Hopefully, he was not seriously hurt. I actually need to look into that, but hopefully, he wasn't seriously hurt because, I mean, we need him in. We need him. I feel like people were waiting and waiting to see when he was going to get more PT, get more snaps. We finally saw it. He's looking nice. He was looking good, sparingly last week against Tennessee, or 2 weeks ago against Tennessee. But hey, after this game, we see what you're working with, and we want more of that. So I'm rocking with Josh heavy. But I think we gotta relax the we gotta relax the hate on Cash. I like Cash. I think we're over. I'll say if anything, Georgia fans are overreacting on is that I think
I don't, I
I
don't think
think
anybody disliked Cash. I just think they were like, why was he in the game? And
no,
that
I know. I'm saying in that because of that, we're saying things that come off as hate, and it's like
yeah,
that's my thing. Is like, why was he in the game? Josh limped off the field, and Cash is our third down back. Are we crazy? Like that's just it. That it's
I mean,
been that way.
it was fourth down. That's what I think. That was what
But
was
they're trying
frustrating.
to run hurry up. If anything, it's like, why didn't we just not run the play? But again,
Exactly. You slow in
not
it.
running the play
That's
is
my.
not going. It's not going to promise us that he's not on the field. We might run something different, but I feel like any play that we didn't get that first down on, we were gonna hate it.
Yeah.
We were
Well,
gonna hate it. We're gonna hate
yeah,
somebody.
because I know at this point, like folks are like, why didn't you just take three? Because your
Yeah,
defense is.
yeah. I would have liked us to. I would have
I
liked us to potentially take three because we already seen how everything was going. I'm not tripping off of it because I understand again the end. I don't even think it's about the analytics. It's just like
he did.
realistically,
I don't think he took three because he didn't trust his secondary to hold up. I don't think.
maybe. And if that's the case, I can't even go against it. But
Yeah,
I can't go
that's
against it at all.
because
But
that's I'm gonna be honest with Peyton Woodring. It's an automatic 3 points typically.
no, for
Uh,
sure. It was an automatic three. It could have been that.
no,
I think it's also just it was fourth and a short one. It really should have just gotten reviewed. That's my biggest thing. My
you
order
should
of it is I feel like it should have gotten reviewed.
yeah, review the buzz down and review the
I
play.
would have waited. I would have tried to get them off sides, and then I probably would have just seen what we was looking at personnel wise. How do we feel? How's Josh feeling? What's Chauncey looking like? And let's just go get 1 yard or put in one of the big guys back there. I'm sure we have a play with Christian Miller or somebody like that back there. Let's see what one of them guys feeling like, and let's put them in there and just get this 1 yard and keep it pushing. But at the end of the day got to end, and it ended with us going on downs and not getting that first down like we needed. I feel like we get that first down, we win the game. But it didn't happen. It is what it is. Man, we fight to see another day. But moving on here, more into the offense, of course. I feel like play calling was pretty decent outside of one drive. It was very questionable. But outside of that, I feel like the play calling was decent. Gunner, a great leader for the team. I mean, it shows time and time again that the team just clearly trusts Gunner more than they trusted some of the quarterbacks we've had in the past. Not only trust, they're ready to fight for him, ready to go to war for him. And I feel like Gunner has shown his balls. I wanted to see, because obviously from the Tennessee game, people aren't going to just keep playing man on us like that. Because not only is that just Gunner's going to be able to make the throw, but we just have the weapons. And you see, I don't know if that was cover three or if that was man on the touchdown Kobe won. Kobe got the touchdown on. He won on that play. You see what happens.
Yeah,
You see what kind of weapons we got. So play man if you want to, or have only one over the top
we got
on the
guys.
outside if you want to. So I wanted to see if when they get out there and play zone, when they get out there and make some tight windows, but not too tight to where you won't throw, but just tempt you enough to want to throw, will he do it? Will he pat the ball? Will he pitter patter them feet back there and not get rid of it? What will he do? I'm sure there were some plays left on the field. I heard somebody say a couple things, but I feel like that's with every quarterback because we seen it last year with Carson. We saw Carson the year before, but
I, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
no, you good. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's doing the best without being a superstar. Literally, I think he's doing the best that he could be doing for us on your fourth game in fourth game of your as a starter. So it's like if he does any better, he's a superstar. So and we knew that was just not what he was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving Gunner. I'm loving what he's doing, and I think he showed me the balls to just be able to throw the ball into the tight windows. That play to Zachariah Branch on third down when we absolutely needed it, or was that fourth down?
Oh, it was I think it was third, or it may have been it was either third or fourth. Whatever it was, that was a rope. That was his best throw of the night,
And
honestly.
and that was a tight window, and he had to
Tight,
do it.
tight window. Zach Branch like went up and got it, and Zach Branch obviously is not tall, but he went up, got ping ponged around, came down with it. I was like, first off, seed. My only thing about Gunner, I feel like he needs to get better at like dealing with zone coverage. I think the reason I say that is because there were a couple of throws that he could have made, and it looks like it's like again, I think this is more so due to lack of experience. Go through his two reads. The two reads aren't there. He's trying to pull it down and run, and it's like sometimes he's anticipating trying to run the ball, and he doesn't get too far, and you're not fast. Respectfully, he's not fast. He is mobile. I would not consider him to be fast because to me, electric fast is like I don't know a Justin Fields or even Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. Like those are like those Deshaun Watson when he was in college. Like those scrambling types.
Yeah.
That also are good, relatively good pocket passers as well. But it's like he wants to run the ball more than anything, and I'm like, bro, you're not. Excuse me. It's not that you're not slow per se.
Mm-hmm.
You're not fast enough for a lot of these athletes that are on the defense, especially at linebacker or at safety. Like you're not outrunning these dudes.
Yeah.
So, you're getting 2 to 3 yards when if you had stayed a split second, somebody's coming open. One specifically that I remember that this is being highlighted probably everywhere. There is a play where Oscar Delp is running a crosser, and as soon as Oscar Delp crossed behind the linebacker's face, Gunner should have ripped it. Gunner did not rip it, and instead he turns it into like a 2 or 3 yard gain, and it would have been a first down.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that like people are looking for improvement, where they're like, I don't really know if I can trust him as a quarterback because most quarterbacks are trying to rip that throw. He has yet to really do that yet, which again, not exactly completely his fault, but he has to figure that out. I think of when do I rip it? And again, it's not that he can't rip it because like we just saw it. Like he said against the we saw it when he do it through the seed to Zach Branch, but it's like you need more of that. And I will argue even the throw to Taylor was really good too. Recognizing that,
And really good. That was it was perfect. I mean, it's nothing else.
Yeah, you couldn't have handed it. You couldn't have walked the ball to Taylor any better than that. And also with that play, I don't want people to. I know people are frustrated because it probably would have potentially won us a game, but you don't know. But we would have taken a lead at least. Don't get down on Taylor. I understand that everybody's like, oh, I have Arian Smith vision throwback because they were the same number and whatnot. But again, everybody take a chill pill. It's gonna be okay. Taylor's gonna make some great plays for us this year and beyond. I promise you, he is. He's too talented. I do think though. I think he may have gotten a little excited because when it looks like in the plays going, it's like he's like he jumped too early, and he didn't really have to jump actually. And it's like he almost created like a false step, which caused him to drop the ball. I think,
man,
because he would have scored.
Forget all that. Your hands wasn't. You didn't catch the ball. About nothing. You ain't catch the ball. Your hands and your feet are tied sometimes together. You dropped the ball, brother, and that just shouldn't happen. So, of course, don't get too down on Taylor, but he'll be good in the long run. Biggest thing is we are young, and we will improve. But as Georgia fans, some of us are a little spoiled. Those that are even questioning if we should be questioning Kirby Smart. You're spoiled. You're entirely too spoiled. you are actually insane and delusional, and you actually, in my opinion, aren't a real fan of Georgia football if you're even questioning Kirby Smart because you don't remember how miserable some years were with Mark Richt. So
Shoot, even people under Mark Richt, like people didn't really appreciate him because he was for the most part guaranteed 10 wins, but it would be like 10 win season. Like most people's schools kill for 10 win seasons.
yeah, but
Or
I feel like the thing with Mark Richt was he would lose the games that should take us over the hump. He could
yeah,
never get over the
well,
hump.
he
Versus
would.
Kirby, this ain't even no hump. We aren't getting over a individual hump of beating an individual team. Us losing to this individual team is not going to keep us from being in the playoff at all. So that's why that don't even matter. I mean, we lost to him last year. We still had a chance to make it do what it do last year in the playoffs. Granted, we suffered a bad injury at the quarterback position with Carson Beck. So, we didn't show up as our best selves in the playoffs, but Alabama wasn't there and we were. So it's a little different. I think we have an Alabama problem. We don't have Kirby Smart doesn't have a problem other than that. And that's just us being, I mean,
He's a little too loyal to his assistants, I think, which
I mean, I
figures
think
out.
I think that's totally separate from the Alabama thing because I'd argue I would have liked Bobo to be better, but at the end of the day, Bobo ain't loses this game. I
I'm gonna be
mean,
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think Bobo was fine. I think Bobo's been fine, shockingly, the last 2 games.
he's
Straight
been
up.
good when we need him to be. I
He's
mean,
been
I
he's
think
been
he's had one
solid.
bad drive per game.
Yeah, which I mean you can't really afford. I don't think moving forward. And the reason I say you can't really afford that is because you don't know your defense currently is like a box of chocolates. And that's not good. You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, realistically, we're gonna have one. I mean, it's just that's why I say we're a little spoiled. Like we got to be realistic. Like I heard you say earlier with the Oscar Delp thing. Um, most quarterbacks would try to rip that. You gotta
Yeah.
also be honest about with that does come
That's just experience. That's an
Nuss.
experience, bro.
Yes, experience, but also look at Nussmeyer, very experienced. He still be out there doing some nut shit. So it's like we got to think about. I'm calm on Gunner one because he's shown he can do it when we need him to do it. But it's like one, he's young. More things are gonna come with the experience. If we don't win a championship this year, and even if we do, if Gunner is our quarterback next year, they're gonna be pissed. People are gonna hate it. But it's also just like, why do y'all want to see the tricks and the toys and all this stuff with a quarterback that probably can't take care of the ball? I don't care if you can make all these throws. If some of these throws gonna be an interception, how many interceptions does Gunner have this year? 0. So it's like, will we want to trade that just because somebody will throw that? But what will they throw that they shouldn't throw? We also have to think about that. That's why I'm like, I think we get so tunnel vision on what's only going on with our program and not looking at what other problems the other programs have. If Nussmeyer played better against Ole Miss, and that loss was definitely not all on them by any stretch of any imagination. If he plays better, LSU could have won the game, right?
Yeah.
Experience. Tennessee, 2 picks just this past game, barely won. They could have for sure won if it weren't for 2 picks. If they didn't have that defense that they have, they probably would have lost that game, right? Auburn. Yep. Not that we would ever end up in that position, but moving on. Florida, talent. You see talent everywhere. Talent in the quarterback position, elite talent. But on game day, on Saturday, is he an elite performer? No, he's not. South Carolina, elite talent. Elite talent. Is he an elite performer? Will we trade? No, I'm not. I'm not.
If you're taking care of the footballs, that's the main thing. I think that people are gonna really be concerned about. Like, as a quarterback, are you managing the game well? Are we scoring points? Clear as day that we can run the ball. Clear as day that we have weapons. I would say that Gunner is a decent thrower of the football. He's not like an elite thrower of the football yet. I mean, if I'm gonna be a critic a little bit, I do want him to recognize certain things sometimes, and I'd rather him throw it than try to take off and run all the time. Sometimes, because like again, it ain't like he's getting like 50-yard gains or anything like that. Like I will say I'm appreciative when he uses his legs to extend a drive. I've seen that couple of drives, and it's worked. It's worked out. But there are some defenses you're just not going to get away from because you're not that fast. Perfect. You're mobile, but you're not a speed demon. But the only thing I would say is there are a couple of guys that I would do kind of wish we would feature as well a little bit more. I don't know what like the receiver rotation is. I do know for a fact that like Kobe Young gets the ball. I would like to see Kobe Young get the ball on deep balls a little bit more. Um, he's kind of been our go-to guy. I would like to see Zach Branch get the ball a little bit as well on more deeper routes as well. We kind of both of his touchdowns have come on screens, but I have seen him on a couple crossing routes, and he clearly can catch the ball very well.
Who was that?
Colby. I mean, excuse me, Zachariah Branch. We kind of get him the ball on like those screens, and I've seen him on some crossing routes. London Humphreys gets the ball a decent amount. The one person I kind of feel bad for, but apparently, this goes back to, the Kirby Smart school of if you don't block, you don't play situation. I would love for Noah Thomas to get on the field, personally. I think he has the talent. I've seen it at A&M. I know he's probably personally frustrated because you ain't really playing, and you're like, why did I transfer to this school in my senior year? When I could have been back at A&M and they throwing the ball all over the field right now with Marcel Reed and all those guys that they have at at wide receiver with Concepcion and Mario Craver. I think Mario Craver's there. And those guys, because he's 6'6", 6'5", 6'6". He was the big threat.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we don't really throw you the ball. But again, if you're not blocking, I got nothing for you.
It comes that it's literally that simple. I also feel like we just have to remember also it's one ball and it's only so many plays when your defense can't get off the field. So
I just think we've found a way to be effective at running ball. I think like last year, right? If you go back to 2023, I think we were very balanced in 2023. We didn't really run the ball the most effective. Well, that's a lot. We were decent at running the ball. We had Dijon and we had Kendall Milton in 2023. Still pretty solid at running the ball. Last year, though, however, we couldn't run the ball for shit. And so it relied on Carson to be trying to throw the ball all over the field, everywhere. And this year as well, I think it's almost like the reverse a little bit. Like we're running the ball very effectively and we're throwing the ball here and there. I think just as a personal aside, I would like us to be a little bit more balanced in that regard. So far it's been working. I have not as many quarrels with the offense because it's clear as day that those first two games were some bullshit. Like we didn't show nothing, which was I guess frustrating because it's like, let me get these reps. Let's let the guy that doesn't have a lot of experience, even though he's been here in the system for 4 years, let's let him get these reps in. But in SEC play so far, he's been pretty solid, straight up. You won a comeback game, showed me you had nuts against Tennessee. You damn near won this Bama game too. And I have, even though you didn't throw over 200 yards or anything like that, I don't really have much to complain about from him, per se.
Yeah, I think, of course, we want to see these guys get the ball more. Noah Thomas, if you're not on the field, you know what that means. But I want to see him more. I mean, I want to see those guys get the ball more. I think that comes with those guys are red zone threats, right? Usually a guy of Colby's stature doesn't even get the passes he gets with these screens and stuff like that. One screen, I hated one of the calls, but I mean, they work. When he gets the ball in those short yards in a short route situation, he still makes it do. I think they gave the ball to Zachariah a lot this past game. I feel like the Tennessee game, I mean, they just couldn't stop us from running the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
neither of these teams so far have been able, like,
nobody can stop us from running the ball.
So far, nobody has been able to really stop us from running the ball where we really need to like overly rely on Gunner throwing the ball. The only reason we kind of needed him to throw the ball a little bit against Tennessee was because we got down by 2 touchdowns and we had to start coming back. Like at that point, you really have to throw the ball a little bit more. But the interesting thing about that is also like when you get down, and if you can't get down by too much, where you have to consistently throw the ball. But if you're still balanced enough to try to run the ball effectively to get into your offense, it worked. And I think that worked for us. Like
Yeah, I
it
think
just
we look nice. I like the play calling. I like the percentage balance. Usually I feel like it would have been different if we weren't down the way we were down at the half, or just the fact that we had 1.5 possessions in the first quarter
yeah,
and we got the ball first. And
yeah.
Alabama held the ball for, I believe their drive was about almost 9 minutes. No, I'm mistaken. Almost 7 minutes. 6 minutes and 30 seconds, bro. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. We on the sideline. I mean, and then that's not just one drive. That's 6 minute drive. We punt another 6 minute drive, almost seven, basically seven, 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Right. So it's like anytime to start the game, they're going on long drives, and it even seemed like I thought they were really about to bury us at the beginning of the third
Oh
quarter because
man,
they had another long drive at the beginning of the
boy, I
third
thought
quarter,
that shit was gonna be 21-zip real
and
quick, and
they missed.
I was like, we finna get blown out again. This is
Yeah,
insane.
they missed the field
Yeah,
goal luckily, and it gave us some put
some
a
life.
battery in our back. But I mean, they started off the third quarter like they started off the game, right? They had those long drives, and when you have those long drives like that, you're not gonna be able to pass the ball around because you got to get. I mean, you got to get some rhythm. We got to do what works. So you got to still be, you know, got to be balanced. And I think if we had more plays to do that, we would have passed the ball more. I think we would have saw more. Can't say we were going to give the ball to Noah Thomas more. I can't say that. I think it's also we got to recognize that the defense has tape on Noah Thomas. They not stupid. They not going to sit there and just ignore him. I think a lot of times Noah Thomas can be a decoy at times. I feel like Zachariah is a decoy at times. It's hard to get Zachariah the ball and not have eyes on him, right? And
Yeah,
then you got London Humphreys. London is straight. I think he could be better at times, but I like what we're doing and how we're getting the ball out, considering the fact that we are going to be balanced at the end of the day, and maybe a
we still,
little leaning to the run, and I'm okay with that because it's working.
yeah, we
It's
still got a.
working.
I was gonna say we still got a gauntlet to go through. Uh, right now we're off. Well, I was gonna say we're off this week. That's a lie. Play Kentucky this coming week, um, and then we go to Auburn. At night. It's gonna be anywhere from a 7 p.m. to a 7:45 start.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan Hare will be rocking.
And they got
And we
2 weeks to
play.
prepare for that because they have a bye week this week.
No, we don't.
No, I said they have 2 weeks to prepare
Oh
because
yeah,
they have a bye
Auburn.
week this week.
Yeah. So they're gonna be juiced for that game. Big rival. They want to beat us. They haven't beat us since 2017. I don't think. Um, it's I would say it's Gunner's. It was Gunner's second biggest road game this year. Yeah, second big road game. Uh, then we play Ole Miss at home. We get a week off. Then we play Florida. Will Billy Napier be fired by then? TBD. Genuinely, I don't know. They're 1-3 right now, and they got a gauntlet this year.
They're not
Um,
going to the cocktail party with an interim head
yeah.
coach.
Then we play Mississippi State. Mississippi State is 4-1. Honestly, like they're a they're a pretty good team, and they throw the ball very well this year. It's kind of interesting. They threw the ball on us pretty well last year. Actually, we just beat them, and I think that was one of the games because it was like the fourth game of the season that maybe maybe look a little sideways. I think at the defense because it's like
I mean, their
you sh-
quarterback ran on us a lot too. That was just
yeah, but it's like you shouldn't be getting thrown on by Mississippi State, and I think that was one of the first games that people said they saw that made them question our secondary. For real, for real.
I mean, you're
Uh,
gonna get thrown on by Mississippi State, though. I disagree with what people were saying. I think it just should have stopped at a certain point. But
yeah,
my problem wasn't the passing. That's every time we play Mississippi State, they pass on us. They're gonna be successful at the pass. That doesn't always equate to
that's
points
a
against
Mississippi
us.
State.
They're
They
always
win.
successful. They were running the ball on us. That was the problem. They were balanced against us.
Yeah. Then we got Texas. And we got University of Charlotte. Which I guess is like a tune-up game. Then we play Georgia Tech in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Tech's undefeated currently.
No,
That'll
they're
be
not.
tough. Am I tweaking?
I thought Tech.
Oh, they're
No, they
undefeated. They
are
didn't
undefeated. I'm tripping. They should have.
came back. They should have lost to Wake Forest. They won in overtime.
They should have lost the
But
Wake Forest. I forgot that they actually brought that game. They run that one out.
I mean, and I'm not gonna lie. I've seen Duke play personally.
I think they
They
go.
do play Duke.
I
They
think.
might lose to Duke.
I think they're going.
Syracuse is also, you never know.
Yeah, Syracuse can
But
get up. I mean, with Fran Brown leading them, they can get up at any moment in time.
yeah, NC State similarly as well. But for the most part, like they don't really have. They might go undefeated and just play close games in ACC until they play Georgia, which would be, you know, that'll be interesting for them, for sure. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, just because I don't know. As a Georgia fan, I like Brent Key. I'm not gonna say here in front. He keeps his team physical. He keeps his team focused. He doesn't necessarily have like the best athletes per se, but those guys hustle for him for sure. They really do. Uh,
I mean,
but
he's
yeah, we're
been
gonna have our
alone, so he's gonna be able to get that type of juice out of them. So
yeah,
we'll see. I think regardless of what they got going on, I ain't even worried about if they undefeated or what they are, because it's gonna be a tough game regardless. They could be 0 and
yeah.
whatever. They're gonna be tough to play regardless. But looking forward, of course, we have Kentucky coming up. I think regardless of what happened in this Alabama game, and obviously we just vented to y'all, we had to get it out. But the Kentucky game coming up, it's gonna be a good game. Kentucky looks. I thought they looked bad last year, so it didn't, and it clearly did not matter. So I think they look bad this year, and I don't think it'll matter. So I think it will be a good game,
It's tough.
unless that defense looks like a brand new defense, and the offense is able to get on the field and have twice the amount of time of possession as Kentucky. It's still gonna be a good game. So that's again, this is another game that's gonna be all on the defense, especially that secondary. I don't even think Kentucky. I personally don't think. I mean, I looked at Kentucky a little bit. I don't think Kentucky has the firepower
They don't
to
have no
even
passing
test.
game. For sure.
I don't
Yeah,
think
their
that.
passing
Yeah,
game.
I don't think they have the firepower to even test our secondary like that. But hey, we've seen worse be
All you
successful
need,
against us.
who knows, bro? All you need sometimes is some confidence. Like I said, this comes down to reps. Like, oh my lord, this comes down to reps.
I
For real, for
mean,
real.
they practice too. They got confidence too. So, and I mean, if I saw that secondary, granted, this is just me, of course. I give 80. I contribute 80% of that goose egg that we forced Alabama into in the second half to the coaching staff. I mean, I feel like they made great changes. I saw changes from the live version. I watched a little bit of what I could see online from the all 22, and the defense looked totally different. They looked more alive out there. They looked more active, feet always moving. It just looked more intentional and more knowledge. They looked like they knew what was going on and they was being intentional about what they were doing in that second half. But I have to attribute a lot of that honestly to the coaching staff. I feel like they made adjustments. But if I'm Kentucky, I'm confident about what I saw in the first half. Not that because I think I can beat Alabama and I can emulate what Alabama did. It's just the fact that our secondary and our defense as a whole in that first half just looked clueless unless Alabama was running the ball. If the ball wasn't being ran, we looked clueless out there. So all the way to the point where in past years, when we had those DBs coming up or we had linebackers that were coming up or just people that were coming up, they might do it wrong, but they still going to chase after the ball. They still going to be violent at the point of the attack. They still going to be tough. And then a lot of times you'll see people in the past do it clearly. People that don't even play football or know or be able to analyze football to a certain level can see that you're doing something wrong, but you're doing it confidently. You're doing it fast and you're being violent and you're chasing after the ball. This team, when people doing something wrong a lot of times, specifically the secondary, they ain't even doing it confident. They ain't doing it wrong fast. They're not being violent. It's just, it looks weak. First half, it looked weak. It looked sad. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky, they have nothing to lose. So I think the first thing they will try to do is attack our secondary. Unless they feel like they have the guys, and I don't believe, they have the personnel to attack our running game. I mean, they're pretty decent at the run. They got two backs already over 200 yards, almost to 1,000 yards for the whole backfield. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't believe Zach Calzada is still playing football. I just noticed that.
Exactly. That's actually insane.
I actually just noticed that. I can't even believe that. And of course, he is from Georgia, but I think at the end of the day, the first thing they're going to do is try to test our secondary. So we got to be ready. They'll have an opportunity. Yes, it's Kentucky, but hey, whoever's in front of y'all, y'all need to kill them now. Y'all need to make an example out of everybody in front of y'all from here on out. So,
Yeah.
looking at the Kentucky game, what do we know about the Dogs
Great.
going into
This is
this
a
game?
great game. This is a great game to get some sacks. I'll say that.
I don't even care. When I say I don't care, bro, I think
You got to show it, bro. You got to show that you have
I
some.
think we need to do that.
Because
I think we
it's
need to do that.
not showing.
No, I think it's important. I think the reason I don't know. I guess I'm so numb to that argument is because at some point it don't matter. All that just does is continue to save the secondary from looking trash, which they are. They need to have live reps. And I mean, I just feel like I watch a lot of times how much time these quarterbacks have. And I watch a lot of times also just how quick they get the ball out, no matter what the coverage, what the protection is looking like. They just get the ball out fast. So it's a good game to get some sacks. We got to see how they play it. I think regardless, we're gonna kill Kentucky. I just think it will be a hard fought game where we're gonna have to figure out, all right, what's our path to winning? Are we gonna have to control the clock? I feel like we'll be able to stop the run no matter what they do. But if they have any type of personnel to attack our secondary, it's gonna happen. I will say it's a good game to have some sacks because I don't think they have the personnel man to man to where we can't have some coverage sacks.
This would needs to be a big coming out party in my opinion for the defense personally.
I don't even
Again,
want to call it coming out party. It just needs to be a big redemption party.
yeah, like y'all look weak against two quarterbacks that are clearly elite. If you want to win a national championship, if you want to win it, let's start. I'm a backtrack. If you want to win an SEC championship, if you want to win a playoff game or two or multiple, if you want to win the national championship, you simply have to be better in coverage. You're going to see these elite type of quarterbacks. I don't really know if like quarterbacks have really been elite so far this year per se. I think Joey Aguilar has been good. I think Ty Simpson's been good. I think Dante Moore has been solid at Oregon. Um, so a couple of guys actually in the SEC have been pretty solid, like Taylor Green at Arkansas or whatever. But the point I'm making is that you're going to see good quarterback play later and later down the stretch. As a secondary, y'all need to lock in, try to focus on, not getting burnt, getting some pass deflections, smothering these receivers. Um, and, as the front four, really front seven, get home. Figure out a way to get home, man. Like straight up. I'm not saying that you need to be a sack specialist or anything like that, but like try to be dominant. Dominate in all phases of the game.
I
Point
did
blank
see
period.
Davin Bellamy say on Twitter that them them guys need to
Yeah,
stop shooting.
they ain't got no damn he was pissed and he was like, these dudes, he was like, I don't know what they're working on. He was like, there's just no plan, no pass rush plan for any of these dudes right now. And he was like, it's disgusting. Like it's really disturbing him that they don't have no type of pass rush plan going on. And I'm like, damn, like that's actually crazy that he feels this way. Like for real, for real.
Yeah, I mean
And
he was a great guy for us. So I hope that they do take him up on that and send some guys out there. It doesn't seem like we really work, and I feel like I said this at the beginning of the season, or I feel like it was the beginning of the season. We teach discipline. I feel like D line wise, I feel like we're gonna make sure you do the necessities as a D lineman. You're gonna be able to stop the run. You're gonna be able to strike blocks. You're gonna have the skill set to be able to peek around blocks as well. You're gonna be able to shed blocks. You're gonna be smart. You're gonna be disciplined. I feel like when it comes to the one-on-one moves and all that, I don't feel like we teach too much of that. I feel like a lot of that, and of course I don't know, but just based off of what I've seen, I feel like a lot of that is just, hey, if you pick up on it, you pick up on it. You
right.
get it, you get it. I feel like they need to invest in a little more of that for our guys. But at the same time, I feel like we are it's a little different with the portal and the parity of the college football landscape these days. When you're talking about playing a 3-4 and also still having these teams in SEC that can run and still spread you out. And
Yep.
like, you know what I'm saying? We're different. So SEC was always known for being able to be physical, tough, run the ball. Now we're still that. And then also we're able to pass the ball. We're able to spread you out. We're able to spread you out from a condensed set as well. You
Mm-hmm.
got outside linebackers that also have to cover a lot. So it's just difficult. I think we have to absolutely have to have our defensive ends be better. I feel like we've been relying on outside linebackers to get those sacks a lot of times, and I don't think we can really afford it nowadays. And I feel like people are just picking up on it. I be If we are praising Chris Cole and we talking about how great Chris Cole is, they're probably talking about it 2 times as much in these opposing defensive coordinator meetings. So I would try to force Chris Cole and Justin Williams into pass coverage as much as I can too. So we need those defensive ends, those really just those three that we got on the line. They got to make more pressure. Christian Miller, I think he's doing an amazing job on the inside and drawing double teams and sometimes winning in those double teams. Hey, I need more. Not because you're not doing enough. This team just need more. We just need more from Christian Miller. So for us to be successful in the sack department, I feel like he just has to really, really buckle down and condense that pocket on the passer. And I mean, it kind of starts with him to an extent because I think he's the best defensive lineman we have. I just need him to lead the way. But with the Kentucky game, any final thoughts on that? Or actually, my bad. Before we do that, our final thoughts on that is, what do you know about them dogs? That going into Saturday, you know what's going to happen.
Uh, we can run the ball. I know that for a fact. I think we've run it on better fronts so far. So I clearly expect us to run the ball. Now, yeah, I know for a fact we can run the ball, and currently I would say our secondary is not that good. Talented, talented, but talent doesn't
It
prove
doesn't
what's
mean
on.
anything. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
mean
move, it
absolutely
doesn't mean anything
anything.
here on paper. So what I would now if you were to ask me like what I want to see, would like to see a little bit more explosion in the passing game just because I want to see it again. Not that I haven't seen it yet. I just want to see it just for balance purposes. Additionally for that, and I also don't understand like Kirby's not gonna. We run the ball very well. Like we've been explosive in the run game for sure, but I kind of want to see it for rep purposes. Like I'm not saying Kentucky's sweet or anything like that. They pushed Ole Miss to the wire and only lost by 7. Um, Playing us, they'll probably try to push us to the wire as well too. Like it's still an SEC team.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Stoops is still physical. I also feel like Kirby does this thing when he plays Mark Stoops led teams. It's like he tries to prove his physicality against them, and that makes no sense to me. So he'll try, if he knows that they have a good run defense, he'll try to establish the run instead of like, bro, you can just throw the ball on these dudes and like get the game over with. He don't care about that. It's like he's trying to prove a point either to himself or to his team or try to figure something out. I don't know. And then on defense, I would like to see the secondary have a shutdown game, and I would also like the front 7 to have a shutdown game, like affect the passer, cause some turnovers. We've had turnovers in some of these games so far too, like that we've caused, but cause more. Like I ain't seen no sack fumbles, no strip sacks, no forced fumbles. I've seen picks, a couple picks here and there, but I need more. I'm
Yeah,
being greedy.
I need more physicality. So I think we will see that. I think we'll see more of the same of what you already said we can do, running the ball. Of course, you feel like our defense is not our defensive secondary is not as good. I think we will see them be a little better.
Mm.
I know they're talented. I think they just have to be better.
Yeah.
Being young is not going to be an excuse. By the time we play Florida, it's not an excuse for me now, especially when we got to go on the road to Auburn next week. But
Mm-hmm.
by Florida time, what you are at that moment is who I probably expect you to be for the rest of the year.
Well,
Um,
I would actually argue that the Auburn game is a bit more concerning. Um, Simply due to the fact that they got weapons at wide receiver, like real deal weapons.
We have
Uh,
a bona fide weapon in Cam Coleman for sure. I mean,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want to. I don't want to say that's all I'm worried about, but kinda. I mean, just because I know that it don't matter which regard. I feel like our corners are not good enough. Point blank. Period. We can have Kamari out there, and they gonna try Cam regardless. Like it don't matter who's out there. They're gonna do it regardless. So you got to show up regardless. So Cam is just. I mean, he's a freak. So they gonna throw the ball to him regardless. I don't think they give to one of my high school coaches. I don't think they give a rat's ass how our secondary has looked. They're throwing the ball to Cam Coleman. They don't care. The
Yeah,
unfortunate part is we haven't looked good and they don't care. And they're gonna now they really don't care. They're gonna throw the ball to him.
but bruh, knowing anything that I know about Hugh Freeze, he's gonna try to have Jackson Arnold throw that joint up to Cam Coleman and try to have Cam attempt to baptize Dalen Everett, Ellis, or DeMello. So we just
Absolutely.
need to be prepared. We need to be prepared for that. I will say though, Jackson Arnold is very mistake prone. So he can run around a little bit, but he is mistake prone. If you get him off his base, and he will throw interceptions. You can force him into mistakes.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period.
Absolutely. I think that game we'll touch on that next week, of course, but Kentucky, keeping our eyes on the game in front of us. They just got to be better. One thing I do know about them dogs is, like you said, run the ball. We can run the ball really well. I expect us to continue to do that. I hope we hear something. I didn't listen to the press conference today. A little busy at work, but I hope that Josh McCray is good. I do want to see more of Nate. I mean, I want Nate has to get back out there. I mean, that's just realistic.
Yeah,
Dwight is
absolutely.
great, but Dwight can't pick up blocks. So we do have to have, and Josh McCray is probably faster than we give him credit for. He probably can move better in space than we give him credit for. But at the end of the day, he's here to do short yardage. So when it really comes down to it, our every down back, quote unquote, is only
Chauncey.
Chauncey and Nate. So Nate is going to get opportunities. We just need him to really be ready.
Chauncey.
So
I like Chauncey. I like Chauncey, man.
nah, he's definitely he's RB1
And
right now. He's for
you
sure
know what's
RB1.
crazy? You know what's crazy? If you had gone back to last season, Chauncey was like RB5. He didn't really get no tick like that for real, for real. And either I think he got a little hurt, but he didn't get no type of real PT or anything like that. Fast forward to this year, he's been an effective runner. I would say, like I said, between him, Nate, and like Nate's has run well this year. Again, Nate's issue is you are a chronic fumbler right now, and that's what you're known as. And unfortunately, if you're going to be a chronic fumbler, you aren't going to get the reps that you want because people don't trust you with the ball. I want a dominant win. That's what I would like to see. I want a dominant win. Is it realistic in SEC play? I don't know.
It
I
definitely
mean,
is. I feel like we can
we
get a dominant win for sure. It's
we
gonna
need to get a
take.
dominant win. We ain't dominated nobody yet, in my opinion, so far.
I think
Um,
we've dominated teams in areas. We have not had a complete
a full round.
dominant game. We haven't had it a complete dominant. This could have been a dominant half to an extent. But we didn't get. We ended the game with 7 points in the second half instead of 14. So it could have been a very dominant game
Right.
if it wasn't for that. So, or a dominant half. It wouldn't have been a dominant game by any standpoint. But the positive note to end this on, of course, is one thing I do know about the Dogs is we are young, but we will improve.
Yes,
And
I agree.
I will say, this is the most worried I am about any position group. I'm really worried about the secondary. I'm really
Secondary.
worried about them because I
I'm
say
worried about.
we're
I'm worried
young
about defense.
and will improve, but I don't know that. I think the reality of it is we just have to be better in other areas, and that includes the coaching staff and the scheme that we cook up. Because truth be told, Ellis is young, DeMelo's young. They are super talented, but nobody cares right now. I don't care how
Yeah,
talented you are.
nobody cares that you're talented. They care
It just
about your
doesn't
production.
matter. And to be honest, all hate aside, Dalen is just not good enough. He's not good enough. So,
That's the debate.
because at the end of the day, cornerback one means at this level, at a program like Georgia, it means you shut down the side of the field more often than not. He's about, I don't even know if he's 50%, but he's got to be better. And I don't know if he's
Well,
I don't know.
I'll
I
put
don't
it
know. I don't
like this.
know.
I'll put it like this. If the secondary is gonna be picked on the way that has been picked on, a guy like Dalen Everett has to be a little bit more shut down. I think. I think he can be. He clearly has his moments when he is. Hasn't just been Texas, as well. Like I think he plays well. I think one thing that really does frustrate me, and this isn't. I don't think this is on them personally. I think they're genuinely taught this based on the play call. They play off a little bit and play in zone. Obviously, you can't play man any play because you'll get killed. But they play in zone a lot more. And like a guy like Ty Simpson this past week, who may not necessarily have played a lot, but he has seen a lot of practice. He has seen a lot of football. Kind of what you would want out of Gunner, honestly, because I think they got like the same level of experience. But he's gonna recognize when something is, you know, a zone, or he's gonna attack those soft zones. He has receivers that know how to sit and attack in those soft zones, and
Mm-hmm.
he has game breakers. Like you got Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, like Isaiah Horton was really good this past weekend. Like he has guys straight up, so he's going to find those guys. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think that for a secondary, you just got to be better. You got to be a little bit more stickier, recognizing because I think the funniest thing is I think we're really good when we play press man. I think we have the guys on the outside to play press man. Now, my only frustration with them is going to be like my last point in general. I think they panic a little bit, either getting beat straight off the line, like when Ellis got beat off the line against Tennessee. And I've seen him be physical before, so it's like there's no need for you to get beat off the line. You're fast, you're athletic, you're tall, and you're relatively strong. Like, don't get beat off the line. Dalen, same way. Like, I've seen you press somebody because I've seen you press somebody and end up with 2 picks because you pressed them.
And
So
then
I've seen it happen.
Bill.
I've seen you lock down before. Like, and I think the frustration is it's like lack of consistency amongst the secondary across the board. Outside of right now, Jonell's honestly been the best best guy in the secondary. I would say him and probably KJ. KJ, like a couple of mental lapses here and there, but you were the third. Technically, you were the third safety last year. Now you're the starting safety, basically taking Malachi's spot. So you gotta lock in a little bit more.
He got to lock in a lot more. I don't even want to put him on the list. I'll just say it's Jonell and leave it there. I think Jonell, he benefits from being in a position where, I mean, I know they've pressured him a lot at practice. They've talked about that, but I mean, you playing that nickel position, you playing that star position where you don't really have you have to be on attack mode at all times. So, it's a benefit, and it's, you know what I'm saying, it comes with a price too if you're not ready. So, and you can look worse than you really are. I think last year, like he didn't look bad, but you know, for us it was too much. He wasn't doing enough for us, but at the same time he didn't get consistent play last year due to injury. But Jonell is definitely our best guy or he's playing the best in the secondary. I don't want to say he's our best guy necessarily, but he's playing the best in the secondary right now. Everybody outside of him has to step it up tremendously. He still got to step it up though. And I think my biggest thing with that secondary is I feel like defensive line, linebackers, offensive line, wide receivers, offensive coordinator, Bobo, gunner, running backs. I feel like every tight ends. I feel like everybody is going to step it up. I know everybody's going to step it up. I do not know if the secondary will be much better than it is. I hope it is for us to win, depending on who we play in that first round. Because I'll say we're going to make it to the playoff, but, well, I hope. But we can start there to not be arrogant. For us to make it to the playoff,
Yeah, man.
they
Like,
have to be better. We won't make it. We just won't. Like, everybody around them can be better, but if they aren't better, I say we can make it to the. If everybody improves, but the secondary, we might not make it past the first round. We might not, depending on who we play. But I think they have to get better. I think this is the first time where I feel like a position group at the University of Georgia, I'm not 100% sure if they'll be better because I don't think I've gotten to week 4 where I haven't seen it from somebody. So we're at week 5, game 4. Now we're at week 6, game 5 for us. It's not now or never by any stretch of anyone's imagination. But this needs to be the week where I can at least see, all right, bro, semi-inferior, quote-unquote, opponents, y'all locking them down. I need to see that. Figure it out. So we'll see what's going on. Of course, we'll hop back on this week and talk more dogs and talk more SEC as well. But that's going to be it for now. Pray for the dogs. Just pray for the dogs. But we are not talking about Kirby Smart being like, I ain't even gonna say it again. Those people are not real fans. So if you run into any other people talking about that, man, just stop the conversation right there. Those not real dog fans because there's no way in our right mind we're questioning Kirby Smart. We can question that 4th down call. We can do that. We're not finna question if he should be our coach or not. So, but that's it for me, K.Wil. Of course, my guy GP. We're going to get up out of here and holla at y'all later in the week.
Peace.
Holla.